Great stuff. Well, as you will know from the preamble, my thing this morning is called 8 sales tips in 8 minutes. So it's going to be full on action paced. What I would say to you all is don't write all 8, try and write all 8 down, because I've done that for you. So after I finish, I will hand these around. So these are the 8 tips, okay? What I would say is pick 2 or 3 of them that will really work for you. All 8 could work for you in your business, but pick 2 or 3 that will work for you. That'll be the best way to deal with it. All right? So, I'll start the timer, 8 minutes, and we will begin. So here they are. Here are my 8 sales tips for you in 8 minutes. So, let's go. Right, number 1 is speak to your current customers. Okay? Now you'll say, well, we do that already, all the time. But how does that conversation start? Is it because your current customer rings you up and says, hey, something's not quite working right, or I need to reorder something, or I've got a little problem you need to sort for me? And that's how the conversation usually starts. What I'm suggesting is you are the one who starts the conversation. So you ring and talk to the current customer. Why do that? Because they won't be expecting your call, and it gives you a chance to check how things are going. Because presumably you're providing a product or service, you need to make sure they're using it really, really well. Not waiting for them to call you and say, hey, it's not working particularly well. So call your current customers and make sure that happens. I'm just going to ask if I can turn the music down. Can we turn the music down a little bit, please? Thank you. There we go, great. So call your current customers. But when I say call them, that means don't email them, all right? Actually get on the phone and you call them. Emailing doesn't count. But when you're in that conversation with your current customer, who knows where that will go? Ask them how things are going. Ask them what their biggest challenge is over the next 3 months. It might be something you can help them solve. And the other thing to remember about current customers is never assume they know everything that you do. They don't. So use that opportunity to explain to them. Right, number 2 is respond quickly. Now, I suppose all of you, I imagine, are doing some sort of marketing. You've got a website, you've got some social media activity, you've come in networking. There's a good chance, therefore, you're marketing because you want to attract new people. So when you do get new people, make sure you respond quickly, because most people don't. Especially if you've met somebody at a networking event or a trade show, you might wait a day or 2. It's not good enough. If someone contacts you, you've got to be onto it straight away. I had a guy on the podcast 3 or 4 years ago from New York. He has a business called Chili Piper. They specialize in software that helps large organizations respond quickly. He reckoned that 78% of the people who respond first get the business. So if someone's looking for a photographer and they put 5 emails out, one's to you, Claire, you're the first one out the blocks to respond, you've got a great chance of winning the business. Number 3 is ask and listen. We all think in sales it's all about talking. It is not. Who wants to listen to you talk about them? Ask great questions. That is the key to sales success. So if you get that conversation started, ask great questions. Don't ask, and don't use this at networking, how's business? All right? If people ask me that, I say terrible. And they don't know what to say then. And don't say, are you really busy? Because then, you know, what sort of question is that? I always say no, and then they don't know what to say then either. So ask them things like, as I mentioned earlier, what's the biggest challenge facing your organization over the next 3 months? Have you got any new products or services you're about to launch? Things like that. Interesting questions. Then listen carefully to the replies. You will get clues in the replies that will give you sales opportunities. So ask and listen and be very good at it. Number 4, be the authority. Okay? I'm going to use Peter as an example of this. But be the authority in your sector, the person who is the expert, the person who is the obvious go-to person. Peter with fire safety, he's the expert, he's the authority, he's the person people go to. Whatever you're doing, that's where you need to be positioned. And you can help position yourself with the way you're seen on social media, the way you interact with people, the blog posts, the videos you do, all that sort of stuff. But if you're the authority, the turn-to first person, it will grow your sales undoubtedly. So look at yourself online, your profile, and say, am I the authority in my sector? And you might be a specialist within that sector as well. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is make it easy to buy. Because if you've worked hard to get potential customers coming your way, okay, it's got to be easy for them to buy. So have a look at the process that a customer goes through when they try and buy from you. Because very often that process will be something you designed for yourselves, not for your customers. So think about it. Find the barriers that are stopping people coming into your business. That's number 5 tip. Make it easy to buy. Everybody thinks it is. It isn't. Number 6 is surprise and delight your customers. Okay? All right? These are simple little things that make a big, big difference. I'll give you an example. Okay? An example of a great surprise and delight is somebody does some business with you you get some business from a customer. Send them a little handwritten card afterwards in the post and say, thanks very much for that piece of business, Lynn. That was great to work with you and your team. It will make such a difference. It will keep you on the radar. They might even put the card on their desk and therefore you're prominent still. But it's got to be something that they notice. A text message or an email is not the same as something like that in the post. Add a bit of value. Offer a bit more advice, something that will surprise them and delight them, costs you a bit of time, next to no money, really makes a difference to them, stands you out. I had a guy on I think I brought it with me, but I've left it in the bag here. I had a guy on my podcast recently in the States. He sent me a copy of his book, and then he sent me with the book a little handwritten card saying, thank you very much for having me as a guest on your podcast. I really enjoyed it, and that was it. But if I'm thinking about having someone back on the podcast, guess who I'm going to think of first? Number 7, everyone is in sales. This is really important. So if you're in your organization, you've got more than you working in your organization, then think about everybody else who comes into contact with people, customers, because every time there's an opportunity there to make a mess of it. All right? You're the front person of your business. You're working really hard. But if I ring your business and somebody else answers the phone and I don't get the same impression that I see from your lovely website or from you, then that'll put me off a bit. So make sure that everybody is consistent as they can be in your business. So all those interactions represent you, represent your business. Not easy to do. And number 8 is be proactive. Now, by being here today, you're being proactive. In business, we're brilliant at being reactive. Emails come in, phone rings, messages come in, we respond to it. We're not so clever at being proactive. And right now, when economic times aren't as brilliant as they are, if we're very good at being reactive, we get less chances to be reactive. We've got to be good at being proactive. And that's making things happen. So that's coming networking. It's doing that post on LinkedIn. It's doing that little video. It's improving your website. It's getting out and talking to people. It's picking up the phone and calling your current customers. In fact, all the previous 7 tips are all driven by being proactive. So there you go, folks. Let me whistle through those for you again. Right, so number 1, call your current customers. Number 2, respond quickly when someone makes an inquiry with you. Number 3, ask and listen. It's more important than talking. Number 4, be the expert and the authority. Number 5, make it easy to buy. Number 6, surprise and delight your customers. Number 7, everyone is in sales, remember that. And number 8, be proactive. There you go, 8 tips in 8 minutes. Thank you very much.